But first things first, it looks like we have our all-star starters that were announced. So East all-star starters, Kyrie, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Blake, off the dome, is there anything on this list that you disagree with?
Joel should have been starter.
Okay. Over who, though? Because a lot of times we say so-and-so should have started. Here's the thing about the all-star or the all-star rosters. Even when you look at like when they announced the entire teams, we talked about this before. A lot of times there's a guy who we're like, he should have made. Like there are players who are all-stars that just didn't make the team, right? Because it's just hard to put them over another guy, whatever the case may be. So with Embiid, that is the number one thing I'm seeing right now. You did make a tweet on that. I think he should have been there, but my question is, who do we put him over? I would say maybe KD, just because of the health thing.
Yeah, I say KD. Just mostly because of the time KD has missed, because he's been out for probably like a month and some change now. I definitely would have put him over KD. I can't really make an argument for anyone else, but KD, he shouldn't be started. That's just what I think.
Yeah. You definitely can't make an argument for anybody else, because you got Kyrie, who's a guard, you got Donovan Mitchell, who's obviously a guard, then you got Jason Tatum, small forward, and then you got KD, who can play. It depends what position you can play, power forward, and then Giannis would play center, I guess. So yeah, because technically if you had Joel Embiid, I'm guessing Joel Embiid would play center in that case, and then they would push Giannis to power forward.
Yeah, they would put Giannis at the. I guess they would switch out like how you see KD and Giannis right now. You just switch those two out.
Yeah, but let's be honest. We live in positionless basketball nowadays. They don't play. Anything they say they play, they don't. So.
Right, all five of them
don't even matter no more. Yeah,
it don't. So they really, I'm gonna be honest with you, they shouldn't even say that when they're picking these starters or even picking the players. They shouldn't even put the position, because it don't even matter, because you have forwards dribbling the ball up like they point guards at this point.
Yeah, even when they're going to draft guys out of the East and West, so it almost doesn't even matter. I would say I would agree with the Joel Embiid thing. I do think, for one, this is back-to-back seasons where he's averaging 30. I think we did a video on this probably a couple weeks ago. I think back when, maybe around Christmas or something like that. He's in rare air. He's a big averaging 30 and 10, or almost averaging 30 and 10, because his rebounds aren't double figures. But for a big man to average 30, when we look at all the great big men in the game right now, or in the game over really this century, Shaq is the number one guy who comes to mind. He never had a 30-point a game season. He came close, but he never had a 30-point a game season. And this is when he was by far the most dominant player in basketball. I'm not saying Joel is better than Shaq, but the man's averaging 30 back-to-back seasons, and it's 30 plus. So I do think I would put him over KD. No disrespect to KD, because he's almost averaging 32 and he's an MVP candidate and all those things. But especially with the way Philly's playing over the last few games, I know that the voters didn't really look at that when they're voting, and picking for him. But I think Embiid's got to have a look. I think he should have been over KD. I don't think it was that bad of a pick to where I'm like, damn, they really went with KD over Embiid. But I would have changed that, and I would have given Joel a look for sure.
You got to think, though, like, do you really expect them? Everything you all said made sense, and I probably agree with you. But do you really expect them not to have KD starting? Think about
That's
that.
True. That's true.
KD not starting is like LeBron or Steph not starting. It's not going to happen. I don't care if somebody's averaging 35 points per game. They're not going to pick them over that type of player. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point.
That's 100.
That's kind of messed up as that is. That is a very good point.
It's messed up, but the All-Star, we all know you kind of establish yourself, especially in the NBA. Like, if you reach this point, like as far as stardom goes, if you reach that level, sometimes you can just make it hella far just by your name, especially starting an All-Star game. So
that's facts. That's facts.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm a big fan of the Kyrie starting thing. It's amazing. I like, y'all know how I am with Kyrie. So it's funny with how the season started and how it's looking now. Somebody said he should be in the MVP conversation, maybe. But 27 a game. The shooting splits are off the chain. He's shooting it better than last season. You can argue that this is one of his better years as in the NBA, and this is one of the most skilled players in the history of the game. And I think he's playing probably his best basketball. I would say so. 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He's holding it down for the Nets. They haven't been amazing in KD's absence, but they haven't totally drowned just yet. Yeah. I love the Kyrie love. I'm glad. I like seeing how the season started for him versus, where he's at now.
I'm excited that we finally go get to see Kyrie versus Steph in the All-Star game for a while. We haven't seen that in a while. I want to see that. That's what I want to.
I don't think we have, not in a while.
In a while, we haven't, because Kyrie's been hurt. Steph had an injury one year, and some situations are going on. So it's just like Kyrie's been hurt most of the time. So I don't know if he's played the last 2 or 3 ones. And then, like I said, Steph was hurt 3 years ago, where he missed damn near the whole season, or at least half of it. So
I know for a fact Kyrie did play the 2021 when they were everything was like COVID had messed everything up. Last year's All-Star game, I don't remember much from it. Last year's All-Star game, he wasn't an All-Star, so that was 1 year. 2020, he didn't play, so that's 2 out of. So he played 1 out of the 3 in the last 3 years. Or 2019, he didn't play. Am I missing one? So yeah, and then there were like those earlier ones where he was in Cleveland. I guess there was one where he was in Boston. He had some years, but but you made a good point there. We had to see years where those guys just went at it, right? We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. If we're gonna have these games or whatever, we're gonna have Kyrie and Steph both as starters. We've got to see those guys go at it and compete with one another. We've got to see them go at each other. That's what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no. But shout out to the league for giving Kyrie the respect. It's funny seeing how he started. I didn't think he was gonna play the rest of the year, and now he's an All-Star starter. You can't deny how good he played.
Yeah. No, you simply just can't deny it, because Kyrie, like you said, he's averaging 27 points per game. His shooting splits are damn near perfect. Not perfect, but his shooting splits are good as hell. So it was only inevitable that he made the All-Star team. So
very true. Man, this really has been this has been a long season. I just realized that wow. Jeez.
It's been long as hell. What's the West looking like? Oh, my bad.
Okay. No, I'm about to say, it has been a long season. I got you.
Yeah. D. Mitchell, though, shout out to him too for getting that first All-Star starter selection. Carl brought up Steph Curry. Yeah, Carl did bring, and I want to go to this because Carl made a point about Carl made a really good point about guys getting in there based off of name recognition. Steph Curry, I personally think Josh should have been a starter over Steph Curry this year. I think so.
You can argue
Grizzlies
that.
are better.
Yeah,
the Grizzlies are a better team. Yeah, they're a better team. I mean, Curry missed a good chunk. The Warriors have not found I know, Carl, he's like, I'll wait and see what happens at All-Star break. I thought they were going to figure it out by All-Star break, and they haven't. So, and I know they beat Memphis last night or whatever, but Ja just has the better storyline this year. Memphis is a better team. They're probably the best two-way team in basketball. This was one I love Steph, and he's a hell of a player. This was one where I kind of felt, and you mentioned it, guys getting in there or guys being started because of their names. I definitely felt like they snubbed Ja, and I never thought I'd say this, but they snubbed Ja for Steph Curry.
I was going to say this though. Ja only has him by 7 games played. You'd be surprised. Because Ja's played 40 games so far, and then Steph has played 33. But like I said, this goes along with my point I made 5 minutes ago. Players like that, they're not leaving them off the starting lineup. So anything that might be justifiable or might be correct is not going to happen. It's true. So, for example, I could see Luka becoming that type of player that's just going to be a starter for the next 10 to 15 years, probably by default.
Yeah, bro.
No, going back to the Steph thing, kind of how we talked about with KD and Joel, kind of the politics about it. Rain or shine, they would still start Steph over anybody in any kind of in the All-Star game. That's kind of like it's kind of a given. As messed up as it sounds, it's just how it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
I got
thing with LeBron.
I got a question. True. I got a question for y'all. I got a question.
Yeah.
I've been advocating for him. I mean, his numbers aren't better when you just look at them. I mean, you can argue they're better. I would argue Domantas Sabonis over Zion Williamson. I would argue that.
I'm be honest. I ain't gonna lie. I was surprised Zion made the starting lineup.
I am too.
Me too.
I'm very
especially. Let me check his games, but I know he's only played like half of the games of the season, probably. If
he's not, because I think he's still hurt.
Yeah.
Yep. And they've been floating. They've been able to float and stay above water, like even like even when he was out. And I don't like doing that because that doesn't mean he's less valuable to his team just because they can win without him. Like that's like this new NBA argument, like, oh, so and so they're good without. I don't know what that's about, but I don't think he was started this year.
Yeah, I'm about to say actually they've been losing, so I guess it helped his case because they've been losing as of late, like over the last week or so. Like they've dropped a couple games. Yeah, they dropped a couple games, but yeah, he's only played 29 games, bro. I don't know about that. I'm being honest. I was on the bridge of him like based off games because I thought he actually played less than this of even making All-Star team because like of the games he played. So he probably would have made if I was picking, he probably would have still made it. I don't know if I would have started him.
I definitely would.
Yeah, no.
You know.
So question, I mean,
they want to see alley-oops. That's what this is about.
Does he even play? Does he even play? Like, is he even going to get out there? Because I feel like a couple of these guys, like, I don't feel like KD's going to play, and I don't feel like Zion's going to get out there and play. I feel like they're either just not going to be available or they're going to rest.
KD said he wants to play. I think KD's going to play because he's going to come back like right before a week before then, so he wants to play. And then Zion probably we have to see because he'll break like glass. So I don't want to say it like that, but it's the truth. I don't know if he's going to be able to. Just imagine though, like Steph throwing alley oops to his ass, LeBron. That's crazy,
man. Zion All-Star. I wish, like I said, this could be an opportunity this year, hopefully. But Zion in the All-Star game is a cheat code. KD, we haven't seen KD in an All-Star game in a minute though. He didn't play last year. He didn't play in 2020. That's a dude we haven't seen playing off. He definitely didn't play in 2019, or unless I'm mistaken, that's the one where they were actually out there competing. Well, I'm wrong. 2021 he played. 2019. He played in 2019. 2020 he didn't play. And in 2021 he didn't play, and then last year he didn't play. So that's 3 straight we haven't seen Kevin Durant.
Because this is the crazy thing when it comes to like voting for the captains, they always pick LeBron. It's like it doesn't even matter. They're always going to pick LeBron's going to be always going to be one of the captains. It's going to be always between Steph and KD about the second captain, who the fans are going to pick, whoever votes for it, the writers or whatever, sports writers. But that's the crazy thing. I think LeBron, ever since it started, he's literally been a captain every single year.
Yeah. So. Every single year. He's effectively, you almost got to give it to him. Jokic, LeBron, I can't really argue with anything else here. Luka's definitely deserving of it. We can get into this, and we always do talk about this. We kind of talked about it a little bit last pod, but I did have a couple of who are some guys that you think could get snubbed, but you are like 100% sure that they should be an All-Star this year. I will say off the bat, I feel like I'm going to argue this. I do feel like Aaron Gordon should be an All-Star this year, but I think he's not going to be able to make it. But I think he should be there.
No, Ty. No.
I gotta say it.
I'm glad you said that because he said Aaron Gordon said himself. I'm not making it up. He said if he was to get voted to the All-Star game, he would do a dunk contest again. That's what he said. But the thing is, his hops aren't as good as they used to be like a few years ago. So I don't even know if I want to see that.
Carl, you got an ulterior motive for him wanting to get him to the All-Star game. It's not
no. I mean, I don't mind if he do a dunk contest.
I would rather Jamal Murray get that nod over Aaron Gordon.
Who says they can't send 3?
No, they're not sending 3.
They probably won't because they got to pick somebody from the Kings.
Yeah, but they're not. Like they're not sending. No.
Because y'all forgetting a player like even though Dame hasn't played that many games, I think by default by his name, I think Dame's going to get in there.
Yeah. So. My thing is this though, like. No. My thing with this is my thing. Last year, Golden State got so much love, and I don't know. I said it a couple weeks ago, but I don't know if Golden State's record at this point was that much better than Denver's last year, or whatever the case may be. But Golden State literally sent Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green to the All-Star game with Steph Curry last year, and I don't think any of their stats were as good as Jamal Murray's and Aaron Gordon's, and the Nuggets are as good as they were last season.
I'll give Andrew Wiggins a pass, but the Draymond Green thing is all. Yeah, I can.
Oh, that was awful.
That's what I'm saying. They can send 3 because they're a great team. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, between the Golden State Warriors and the Denver Nuggets, the level of respect for their franchise and team is different. So people not gonna view it as they should. That's the reality. It's like you debating like the Warriors versus I don't know Cleveland or something. I don't know, but you get what I'm saying. They're just not going to view it that way because they don't respect them as much as they do Golden State. So
it's all narrative based.
Yep. There you go. Because they might. I don't think Jordan Poole's an all-star, but shoot, they might give him some votes.
He better not.
You gonna
He
hate
better
that
not.
boy. That's gonna be funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw my phone at the TV if he get an All-Star game. Okay, here's another
almost
one.
lost him
Is
that
Desmond
game.
Y'all see Steph?
Carl. Yeah, Steph got mad too because Jordan Poole is just not. I'm not even gonna get into the Jordan Poole thing right now because y'all know how I feel about it. I'm not even gonna say no.
Game winner. So yeah.
I don't care. I texted even after he hit that game winner. I said I don't care. I do not care. I don't like watching Jordan Poole play basketball. He's not good in that system. I don't care. He may have his little ring or whatever. I don't want to get too much into that. Okay, now another question. Is Desmond Bane an All-Star this year?
Yes. I say yes.
What he averaging? About 20? He got to be averaging right at 20.
I think 22.
You got
22.
Yeah.
22, so even better. I know his ass shooting like 40% from three because he's a sniper.
Yeah.
But
he's 42% from hell yeah.
Yeah, no, that's crazy because let's be honest. Let's keep it real. If we looked at Desmond Bane, does he look like he can shoot a basketball? Be honest.
He remind me of a taller version of Kyler Murray. A little bit.
He kind of looks like another version to me. Personally, he looks like another version to Grant Williams or me. He kind of looks like Grant Williams a little bit.
He does, yeah.
He's built. They're built the same too. Like they have linebacker built ass bodies. But
yeah, they do.
Looking at him, I don't expect him to be a good shooter like that because his big ass. Like normally, dudes built like him be bruisers down low and shit and do like dirty. They don't be 3-point shooters, but. Yeah, no, he definitely deserves to get it. He definitely deserves to get a look. I don't know if I would necessarily pick him, but I wouldn't be mad if he made it.
Yeah. I just think if you a top 2 team in your conference or you're that good of a team, you got to send multiple guys. I just think you really do. I really think you do.
You do, but you know they always don't do that because sometimes
I hate that shit. They sent Chris Paul there, and his numbers were never like. I mean, he's great, but his numbers in Phoenix were never impressive.
Why that goes along with my point. Why do you think they send Chris Paul? The name.
I hate that.
A lot of this All-Star shit is based off name. It's politics.
It's true.
Like Blake said. It's the reality of it.
That's really what it is, bro.
Like a name his name's like Chris Paul, even though he's not as great or he's not in his prime anymore, like Steph is, or whatever you want to say LeBron is. Like it's just he's not making it this year for damn sure. I know that. If he do, I ain't watching the game. But
good nah.
But you still have players like that's been hurt. Like Devin Booker's probably not going to make it because he's been hurt. So you got players like that. So Desmond Bane might jump in front of him. So it's definitely opportunities for a lot of these young players to make their first All-Star appearance for sure. So.
Do you know who else? You mentioned his name a couple weeks back. CJ McCollum.
Ooh.
They're fourth in the West. I mean, this isn't his most statistically impressive season. He averaged more points last season. But they're fourth in the West. He's been, I'd say, their best player when Zion. Well, I can't say with that. Like he has been their best player since with Zion and Brandon Ingram being out during those periods of time. They're still afloat in the West. Like they could have fell off completely off the face of the earth with how things are looking as far as the games behind and all of that. But 21 a game, and he kind of climbed himself out of a rut. Is CJ an All-Star? Does he have your vote?
Yeah. Excuse me. Damn. I'll say yes. I think so. Just based off of what he's been able to do with helping the Pelicans a while, Zion has been out keeping them afloat. I'll say yes.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'll probably pick him, but like you said, when you start looking at the list of the potential players that can make the All-Star team, especially the reserves, you'd be like, damn, I forgot about him. Like I forgot about De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, like players like that. It's going to make it tough, but I'll probably give him the nod though. And Brandon Ingram just came back a few games ago, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to say he's been doing this while Brandon Ingram's been out. So
he could have been if he was healthy, he could have been another player that snuck in there. So
they could have sent 3. If that team was healthy, they could have sent 3. Yeah,
it's kind of crazy because like the West, I feel like compared to the East, they have as far as the reserves go, it's like a deeper pool you can pick out of, if that makes sense. Like it's a more variety of players you can pick out of versus the East. The East's reserve is going to be easier to pick, but then in the West you got so many guards. Like the West is guard heavy. It's like guard heavy as hell in terms of like talent. It's crazy how many guards this in the West that are great, or at least good.
Yeah.
So
they were talking about it on TNT today too. Do the Knicks deserve to send too? I mean, because I will say this: Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, their numbers are impressive as hell though. Like those are legit all-star. I get it. They don't make it. They may be, like I said, they're all-stars who don't make the game. And I think one of them will end up being a guy who is an all-star that doesn't make the game. Because there are plenty. I can't say a dude's not an all-star just because he didn't make the game. Because just because you made it doesn't mean you're necessarily better than another guy. You know what I'm saying? So I think New York should send two. But even if you don't, you could end up in this situation where one of the guys going, the other guy doesn't. But I'm still going to say, hey, New York has two all-stars with the way they're playing, even though they didn't make the game per se. But yeah, no, I think New York should send two. Even if they don't, I look at them as a team with two all-stars.
For sure.
Yeah. I know Julius Randle's been playing great. It's just pissing me. Like you say, how it pisses you off watching Jordan Poole play. It pisses me off watching Julius Randle play because he only goes left, can't go right. You a grown ass. Oh, let me stop. But
I mean,
he can't go. You a grown ass man. You can't go right. That's stupid.
What they got to do with basketball skill, Tom?
I've never heard that. Funny though. That's funny.
It does though. I'm just saying, like you a pro. It's good. Because he has talent. I don't get why he can't fucking go right. You a grown ass man.
You a grown man that can't go right.
But yeah, that's all. But he has some credibility to make it. But I think Jalen Brunson's still their best player in hindsight. So.
They should send two. If the East isn't as deep as we said,
they probably not. Why they probably not go send two is because the Knicks are probably barely holding on in the standings. Like I think they're 8th or 9th. That depends.
They're 7.
Like that goes to they 7. Yeah.
Yep.
I still wouldn't pick 2. I ain't giving them niggas credit. I'm picking Jalen Brunson.
I ain't giving that credit.
They just won 2 in OT.
The Knicks need to send 2, bro. I don't care. The Knicks are cold this year,
man, and they have one of the top All-Star. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Who the hell is going to All-Star game to see Julius Randle play? I'm sorry.
It don't matter. Oh,
yeah,
but you know what?
That's true. Okay, that's true.
I'm gonna see him play.
You crazy.